Oh, Julie.
Fancy seeing you here.
I popped out of the infinity cube.
You know, she's a real space girl, Jeremy.
What's that supposed to mean? What's that supposed to mean, Seyhan?
Well, I mean, you know, you had to be initiated, and we had a trial period for you. And actually, it was because of Julie you have proven that you could be a space girl. And yeah, that amazing moment when we promised our listeners to tell them about it.
What moment is that?
In the Armenian church, remember when we were in the exhibition that I had curated with Annna Zizlsperger from Exhibist magazine. So me and her had collaborated to do this wonderful exhibition, this group show, Trans ID, and Julie had made this piece specifically tailored for the space, the guest host.
Did you?
I did. How did you know? You guys are so smart.
Wait, so so there was an exhibit at the deconsecrated Armenian Catholic Church on Istiklal Avenue in Istanbul, Turkey.
You got it.
Exactly.
So it was a parallel event to the Istanbul Biennale.
Which just means it was on at the same time.
Exactly.
But it sounds fancy.
Okay, so what did you do there?
This was a very special invitation for me because I didn't have a piece already ready. So it's quite fun for me to make something especially for a place. The first time I saw it, there were 5 or 6 different locations that I found attractive.
In the church?
In the church. But one just stood out to me above the others. 2 giant hooks coming out of the walls on either side, 3/4 of the way up to the ceiling.
Is the ceiling like a short ceiling, or is it like a really tall ceiling?
It's a church ceiling. So I decided to make something for the hooks, to fill the hooks. The concept of the show was people who weren't from Istanbul but made their home in Istanbul, people who grew up in Istanbul but made their homes somewhere else. So I took the opportunity to kind of think about what it meant for me to be living in Istanbul, which has been almost 11 years now. So it was quite a spans down memory lane. About 5-6 years into my time here, with a friend, we bought and renovated a 5-story old office building in Karaköy, in the Perşembe Pazarı area, which is all the hardware people. You can find anything if you find the right segment of the right street. Always my favorite place to be. That's why we bought the building there. We were getting very, very near to the end of the renovation. And we were coming in to check up on the workers every week or so just to see how they were going, any disasters, whatever. Mm-hmm. And anytime we came into the building, the workers would stop, and order tea. The tea would come, and we would all sit down and talk about the good things that happened, the bad things that happened, politics, their families, their fathers, their daughters, America, Turkey, all over tea, as you do.
The
everything
tea time is very, very special, isn't it?
Over tea. If you have a big business deal, if you're meeting a friend, you can't talk if you don't have tea. We should actually be drinking tea right now. But I just had coffee, so messed that up.
How American.
I know. So towards the last part of our renovation, my partner and I had to start furnishing the office and the building. So we brought some furniture in, and we bought a Turkish tea maker, because we knew that we would be hosting many of these important business conversations in the future. So one day we came early, before the workers came. We sat in our office, and we made tea, Turkish tea, proper Turkish tea, in proper Turkish tea glasses. So we had it ready.
So you made the tea this time.
We made the tea. And when the workers came in, we said, "Çay istiyor musunuz?" Like, would you like tea? And they looked completely shocked. They stared at us and said, "Çay var mı?" there's tea? There's tea here? And we smiled. We were bursting with joy, and we said, chai var, which is there's tea. So the moment that this transferred from us being the guests in our building to us being the hosts in our building was one of the more pivotal points that I can say in my life in Istanbul. So I use this story as a model, and that's where the title comes, the guest host. We went on to host over 40 artists in Istanbul in our building as part of the Caravanserai residency program. But at the same time, when I step out onto the street, I mean, I don't blend in. I'm a tall, obviously foreign-looking woman. So immediately I'm a host and considered a tourist or whatever else. So at the same time, I've hosted people.
Sorry, there's a little bit of a meteor shower there.
Thus comes the title. I'm the guest host. So I wanted to do something with tea. An interesting part of both the renovation of the building and of my own artistic practice is collaborating with, they're called ustas, which means master, which means that they're really good at something or not, depending if they're good ustas or bad ustas.
A bad master.
A bad master. It's true, there's many. But so I collaborated with a copper usta to make giant tea trays. So I had 2 giant tea trays hanging from these hooks. Okay, there is a shooting star outside.
There's a shooting star that's exploding. We have to take care of it now, and we'll ask Julie to retell us the story.
Okay, I think we need to get on to a spaceship, and maybe we can continue the conversation on the spaceship.
A spaceship on water.
Everyone get on it can travel through space and water. Okay. I think we're on. We seem to be moving through some sort of dense medium in outer space, a liquid medium.
Yeah, but it's very dense.
Yeah, and there's on this spaceship that we're on, there's a lot of other people on it.
I think they're also trying the space travel, Jeremy. I think we're not quite in space yet. We're stuck somewhere in between.
You were telling us a story. There's a whole tea thing, and then you went to some sort of master.
Yes, and he made the 2 tea trays for me according to my design, but of course he does his own little special touches, which in this case was spelling some things in the English part wrong, but that's quite all right. It's part of the process. You can't be too picky. So each tea tray held 12 glasses of tea. So not for the opening, but for a special space gathering later on, yourself helped us out on a very special tea-serving performance.
I was a chai...
A chai-ji.
A chai-ji. What's chai-ji mean?
So chai is tea, and any sort of occupation, many things, if you add a G on the end of a noun, it becomes like a tea guy or a tea man. Mostly it's men, so you're like a tea man. There's no tea women. So chai-ji is like a tea dude.
Oh, okay. Well, if you wanted to make it a woman, is there a feminine version?
No, just chai-ji.
Okay, got it.
So you served the tea, you poured the tea on the tea trays, and then people came to the tray and helped themselves. We did a good job of hosting.
Oh, thank you so much. I had to help make the tea, and making tea here in Turkey is different than making tea other places. There's a specific way of doing it.
Yes.
And
yes.
It was my first time ever making tea the Turkish way, and I had to do it for an audience.
For quite a large audience under pressure because everyone was watching, and everyone expected the chai to be really good because this was the performance.
Yeah, exactly.
So I could tell you were a little nervous, but
I was sweating bullets, I'll tell you.
It was
on the other
first
side
time making a space tea.
How did it turn out?
You were great.
Oh.
It was fantastic. Everyone was really happy, especially me.
I was so happy to do it. And after that
is when the magical moment.
I had been wanting to be a space girl.
Mothership Seyhan awarded Jeremy the honor of Space girl extraordinaire.
I was so happy.
In honor of that, I say we get on our private space shuttle jets and take a tour around the nebula stars. What do you say, Julie?
I think we all deserve a nice dinner.